Since 2014, the Air Force has been trying to retire the A-10 Thunderbolt. Every single attempt has failed. Congress blocks it, pilots defend it, ground troops demand it. This is why the ugliest jet in the inventory refuses to die. The gun that built the plane most aircraft are designed first, then armed. The A-10 Thunderbolt was built backward. The Air Force started with a gun, then built an airplane around it. The GAU-8 Avenger, a 30mm 7-barrel rotary cannon. It fires 3,900 rounds per minute. That's 65 rounds per second. Each round weighs nearly 1 pound. The depleted uranium penetrator core can punch through tank armor from over a mile away. The gun itself is 19 feet long, longer than a Volkswagen Beetle. It weighs 4,000 pounds when loaded with ammunition. The recoil force exceeds the thrust of one of the A-10's engines. That means when the pilot pulls the trigger, the entire aircraft slows down mid-flight. The A-10's fuselage had to be structurally reinforced just to handle the recoil. The nose landing gear is offset to the right side of the centerline because the gun barrel occupies the centerline. The cockpit is positioned above and behind the gun so the pilot can aim it directly. No other aircraft in the US inventory carries a weapon like this. The F-35 has a 25 mm gun with a fraction of the ammunition capacity. Attack helicopters carry 30 mm cannons, but they fire slower and carry fewer rounds. The GAU-8 is unique, and it defines everything the A-10 does. Because when you design an entire aircraft around a cannon this powerful, you're not building a multi-role fighter. You're building a tank killer. And that's exactly what the A-10 was meant to be. What close air support actually means, close air support, CAS, is not the same as air-to-ground strike. CAS means supporting troops in direct contact with the enemy. Troops taking fire. Troops pinned down. Troops who need help right now. The A-10 owns this mission because it does 3 things no other aircraft can match: loiter time, low-altitude sensor passes, and pilot eyes on target. Loiter time means the A-10 can stay over the battlefield for hours. It carries 11,000 pounds of fuel plus external tanks. It burns fuel slowly because it flies subsonic. It can orbit a target area for 90 minutes or more, waiting, watching, ready to strike the moment troops call for support. Low altitude means the A-10 can fly slow enough and low enough to visually confirm targets. The pilot sees the battlefield. The pilot sees friendly forces. The pilot sees the enemy. That matters when the target is 200 meters from US troops and mistakes kill the wrong people. The F-35 can drop precision-guided bombs from 20,000 feet, but it costs $44,000 per flight hour. It can't loiter, fuel burn is too high. And it can't fly low and slow without losing its survivability advantage. Drones can loiter. But drones have latency, the delay between what the sensor sees and what the operator perceives. In a dynamic firefight where friendly and enemy forces are mixed, that latency kills. The A-10 pilot is there in real time, making decisions faster than any remote operator can. Ground troops know this. There are documented cases of soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan specifically requesting the A-10 by tail number. Not send air support, not send fast jets, send the A-10. Because they know what it can do, and they trust it to get it right. That's why the jet survives every retirement attempt. Because the mission it performs cannot be replaced by faster, stealthier, more expensive alternatives. The survivability story, the A-10, was designed to fly low over Cold War battlefields swarming with Soviet anti-aircraft guns. That meant it had to survive hits that would destroy other aircraft. So the engineers built the toughest jet the US Air Force has ever fielded. Start with the cockpit. The pilot sits inside a titanium bathtub, a 1,200-pound armored shell rated to stop 23 mm cannon rounds. The canopy glass is thick enough to stop small arms fire. The seat is armored. Even the control stick is positioned so the pilot's body doesn't block critical instruments if they're hit. The flight control system is triple redundant. 3 independent hydraulic systems. If all 3 fail, the pilot can still fly the jet manually. Cables connect the control stick directly to the flight surfaces. No hydraulics required. No electronics required. Pure mechanical linkage. The fuel tanks are self-sealing. Hit them with a bullet and the tank foam expands to plug the hole. Fire suppression systems flood the tanks with inert gas to prevent explosions. The engines are mounted high on the fuselage and separated. One engine can be destroyed and the other keeps flying. The vertical stabilizers are mounted outboard of the engines, so if one engine catches fire or explodes, the tail surfaces remain intact. The landing gear is designed to stay extended. If hydraulics fail, the gear falls into place under its own weight. These aren't theoretical features. These are combat-proven systems. March 2003. Captain Kim Campbell's A-10 took a direct hit from Iraqi anti-aircraft fire over Baghdad. Hydraulic fluid dumped. All 3 hydraulic systems failed. The jet was barely controllable. Campbell switched to manual reversion mode, direct mechanical control, and flew the crippled aircraft back to base. 1 hour. No hydraulics, just cables and willpower. She landed safely. The aircraft was repaired. It flew again. There are dozens of stories like this. A-10s that returned with one engine destroyed. A-10s missing chunks of wing. A-10s with tail sections shot off. A-10s riddled with bullet holes from nose to tail. All of them made it home. All of them were fixed. All of them flew again. No other US combat aircraft has this level of survivability. And when you're flying low over enemy territory, survivability is what keeps pilots alive. Every retirement attempt 2014. The Air Force announces plans to retire the entire A-10 fleet. Budget cuts. Sequestration. Something has to go. The A-10 is old. It's not stealthy. It doesn't fit the high-tech future the Air Force wants. Congress says no. The National Defense Authorization Act blocks the retirement. The jets keep flying. 2015 through 2017, the Air Force tries again. This time, they argue the F-35 can replace the A-10's close air support role. Congress remains skeptical. Meanwhile, ISIS is spreading across Iraq and Syria. The A-10 is deployed to combat operations. Retirement is paused indefinitely. 2022. Another retirement attempt. The Air Force argues it needs to free up maintenance dollars for 6th-generation fighters. Congress blocks it again. The A-10 stays. 2024. The Air Force proposes a new retirement timeline. Phase out 3 squadrons by 2026, complete retirement by 2029. Congress pushes back. Again, the timeline is revised. Again, the pattern is consistent. Every retirement attempt fails because nobody can answer one simple question: what replaces the A-10's mission? The F-35 is faster and stealthier, but it can't loiter. It costs 4 times as much to operate. It carries fewer bombs. And it doesn't have a gun remotely comparable to the GAU-8. Drones can loiter, but they lack the pilot-in-the-loop decision-making that prevents fratricide in close combat. Attack helicopters can fly low and slow, but they're vulnerable to small arms fire and lack the range and payload of the A-10. There is no replacement, and as long as there's no replacement, Congress will not authorize retirement, because Congress listens to ground troops. And ground troops want the A-10. The 2026 Lifeline, the Strait of Hormuz mission 2026, brings a new twist. 3 A-10 squadrons receive operational extensions through 2030. The reason? A mission nobody expected. The Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway between Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. 20% of the world's oil flows through it. Iran has been harassing commercial shipping with fast attack boats and drone swarms. The US Navy needs air support to enforce maritime security. Enter the A-10. The GAU-8 cannon that was designed to kill Soviet tanks turns out to be perfect for killing fast attack boats. 30mm depleted uranium rounds punch through fiberglass hulls like paper. The A-10 can loiter over the strait for hours, respond to distress calls, and engage targets faster than ship-based defenses can react. Iranian drones, small, cheap, swarming, are also vulnerable to the GAU-8. The high rate of fire creates a wall of projectiles. Shoot enough rounds into a drone swarm and you will hit them. Missiles are expensive and limited. Bullets are cheap and plentiful. The A-10 was never designed for maritime operations. But it's adaptable, it's affordable, and it works. This is the unexpected lifeline. A ground attack jet designed for Cold War tank battles is now patrolling the Persian Gulf, protecting oil tankers from Iranian fast boats. And it's doing the job well enough that the Air Force can't justify retiring it yet. What comes after, the F-35 A&D drone future the Air Force has a plan for what replaces the A-10. It's called Collaborative Combat Aircraft, CCA. The vision? F-35s teamed with autonomous drones. The F-35 provides targeting and command. The drones carry weapons and take risks the manned aircraft won't. On paper, this works. The F-35 has better sensors. The drones are attritable, you can lose them without losing pilots. Together, they can perform close air support, deep strike, and air superiority missions. But CAS pilots remain skeptical. Because what gets lost in this vision is the thing that makes the A-10 irreplaceable: a human pilot at low altitude with eyes on the battlefield making split-second judgment calls. One A-10 pilot put it simply, you can't replace presence with technology. When troops are in contact and they need help right now, they want to see the jet. They want to hear the gun. They want to know someone is up there who can see what's happening and make the right call. That's the gap. And until the Air Force proves car drones can fill that gap, Congress will keep blocking retirement. The current deadline, 2030. 3 more years. Another budget cycle. Another chance for the Air Force to argue for retirement. And another chance for Congress to say no. AS troops need air support. The A-10 flies, so why won't the A-10 die? Because it does one job better than anything else flying. Close air support. Low, slow, ugly, survivable, and trusted by the troops who need it most. The Air Force wants stealth and speed. Congress wants cost-effectiveness. Ground troops want the plane that shows up, sees the fight, and gets it right. As long as US ground forces deploy into combat, the A-10 will keep flying. Not because it's the future, but because it's the right tool for a mission nobody else can do as well. Next video, we're covering the AC-130J Ghost Rider, the gunship that turned close air support into an art form. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Because the A-10 proved something important, sometimes the best weapon isn't the most advanced. It's the one that works when everything else fails.